Brendan, fantastic to see you. We'll let people inside the curtain here is that you've basically landed back from the States, straight into Sky Studios, with a little souvenir for your troubles. How has the last few weeks of your life been?
Absolute whirlwind. You know, coming from New York City to Las Vegas, down Route 66 in an RV, and then from there to Sky Studios, and no sleep, no anything, straight in and on a media tour. It's just a whirlwind.
How was Route 66?
Brilliant.
In
mate.
the Winnebago, right?
Well, you know what it was? I knew I had 10 days to kill before I got to get to Vegas to do Till, so I thought, I don't want to go to Vegas 10 days early. And then I thought, what can I do for 10 days? And then I was like, wow, why not? Let's just go and get an RV and just do it. And one of the best things I've ever done, loved it.
For people who don't know the full Brendan Loughnane story, there's been a lot of lows, a lot of knocks before getting to this incredible moment. What are the kind of main ones? If someone's making a movie on your life, which they probably are already, they'll come with you with a script at some point. Like, what are the main knocks along the way that you've had to take?
I think, obviously, the main one that stands out that everyone knows me for is the Dana White one, when I was on the Contender Series, about 3.5 years ago now, and performed really well, and everybody thought I deserved the contract. And in this life, you don't always get what you deserve, and that was my biggest knockback, I'd say. But prior to that, even my first world title fight against Tom Duquesnoy, went out there, won the fight comfortably, and then they give it him on decision. Pat Healy was another one. Big moment in my career, UFC contract waiting after the fight, went and beat Pat Healy comfortably, they gave him the decision. So there's been loads that I've had to pick myself back up and go again. It's been difficult, but I wouldn't be sat here now with this massive piece of gold if I ever doubted myself.
This isn't a sport that works out for everybody. Not everybody gets the fairy tale ending. Along the way, it would be understandable if you might have thought, maybe this isn't going to work out quite the way I want it to. Did you ever get close to that point?
Yeah, a few times. I think especially the first ever world title, I was only young then, and that hurt more than the Contender Series, because
really?
I trained 6-7 months, hard, dieted hard, and that was my big moment, and nobody really gave me a chance in that fight, and I went out and just destroyed him, and then still got robbed, and I was like, wow, what do I actually have to do to get what I deserve out of this sport? And then it happened again and again and again, and I felt bulletproof at that point. After the Dana one, that was like the third or fourth time it happened. I was like, whatever, what's next? And just kept going and going and going. So I think if you can take anything away from my story, it's like just don't give up. If you really truly believe in yourself and you love what you do, who cares? Just keep going.
What kept you going?
Don't know. I couldn't tell you. I just love MMA.
Yeah.
I love fighting, I love competition, and it's the only thing I'm good at. So I'm like, well, if I don't do this, I used to live with my friend Kay Musa, and when I was like, I'm not doing this no more, he's like, well, what else are you going to do? And I'm like, that's true.
Yeah.
What, get a 9 to 5 and just try and be normal? So I just kept going and going and going, and then look, here we are now, 33 years of age. Most people win the world titles at 21, 22, 23. It took me 16 years of hard work, so yeah, I mean, I deserve it more than anyone, I really do.
Yeah, I mean, no question about that. If this was to be a movie, in those final seconds, in the final, when you're going for the finish, there'd be like a montage in your head of all the things that went wrong and all the things you've overcome. Do you allow yourself those thoughts around that sort of time? Are you thinking about all the things you've overcome, or are you just elated in the moment?
It's really bizarre. I've been asked that question a few times, but if I'm honest, like, it was weird, because I never had any nerves going into that fight. I never had any doubt.
Was that not worrying?
Yeah, it was a bit.
Yeah.
Even when I was to the point where I was walking over to the arena for the fight, I was like, I kept saying to my coach, I hope I get nervous at some point, because I'm used to being nervous. That's just natural, innit?
Yeah.
And it just wouldn't kick in. The warm-up usually kicks in then, didn't kick in. The walkout didn't kick in, and the fight just didn't kick in. I was just supremely confident, and I couldn't tell you where that came from or what it stems from. Maybe it's just the fact that I'd had that many knockbacks that I was like, this ain't happening tonight, no matter what. I'd trained so hard for it, and I got what I deserve.
What is training like in Thailand? Kind of talk us through the kind of daily routine, who your training partners are. Why does it work so well for you?
Well, to be an MMA fighter is uncommon, isn't it? So I like to think of myself, as David Goggins says, is uncommon amongst uncommon men, because I just out-train everyone.
Yeah.
I just love it that much that all these other fighters look at me like, this guy's a lunatic. I'm in there all day, every day. Don't know what the motivation is. People always say, what is it? If I could bottle it up and sell it to you, I would, or if I could tell you what it was, I'd tell you, but I actually don't know. It's just something deep inside me that I've had from young, that just got that much passion and love for the sport that I just keep going.
And Thailand's a good base for that?
Thailand's great because it's the environment for the fighters. I mean, you have 5 or 6 gyms on one road, hot yoga, healthy eating, you name it, it's there. It's nice and easy. It's a great environment for fighters. And then like me, Peter Yan, Rafael Faziev, Demiris Magulov, Arman Sarukian, you name it, the list goes on and on of absolute killers that are out there, man. And Darren Till to add to the top of it now.
Are you all staying in the same town?
Yeah, same gym. Yeah, we're all in the same
gym. What do the
gym.
Locals make of this? Seeing that mob coming down the street?
Well, it's designed for it. So you got Muay Thai fighters, MMA fighters, boxers. Yeah, it's combat street, they call it.
Is everyone very polite to each other when they're walking around?
There's a lot of cauliflower ears knocking about. Yeah, you won't want to piss anyone off on that road, I'll tell you that.
Where do you go from here? Do you go back into the tournament? Do you look for super fights? Is it in the PFL? Are you committed to staying with the firm?
That's another question I keep getting asked, but if I give you the truthful answer, I don't know right now.
Yeah.
It's been a couple of weeks since the fight. I'm still digesting it and enjoying some time off. It was a 7-month insanely hard schedule, and it's just so happy to not have an opponent on my head, a fight on my head, a goal on my head right now. Just happy to have some time off.
Yeah. Is it weird walking around with everyone knowing how much money you've earned?
You know what, it actually is. That is actually a weird... I was saying that to someone the other day, like, it's publicly out there that I'm a millionaire. So, like, I can't hide anymore and be like, I'm skint. I actually can't now, so people know the facts.
Yeah, because we were just having a quick talk about fighter pay before we started, and it is very like, ambiguous. We don't know necessarily what everyone's earning, whereas we've seen the check. We know it is in the bank account now?
Not yet. It's on its way.
Do you know when it goes in?
I'm waiting for the drop. I'm waiting for the drop. I can't wait for the drop.
Just before Christmas as well.
I hope
terrible
so,
timing. Terrible timing.
I hope so.
What kind of things? Did you have like a list of like, these are things I want to buy when this money comes in? This is where I want to spend my money. And in a way, is it better that you've got this huge life-changing sum of money at your age rather than when you were 21, 22, 23?
I mean, that's probably the most frequent question I've been asked recently, like, what's the first thing
I keep asking you questions everyone has already asked you.
Not about my 7th interview, but yeah, it was like, right, so is this, with this money, what changes? And the truth is, absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
I've been making good paychecks off PFL for 2.5 years now, so it's just like, you know, I've never made that sum in one go, but I've always made good money and I've always pretty much been able to buy what I want. So nothing changes really, and there's not one thing that I can put on it. I mean, I did Route 66. What does that say? I think that says a lot about my character. That's what I chose to do straight after it.
Yeah. I'm going to preempt comments we're going to get when this goes up on YouTube and online. They'll reference something along the lines of, well, you've proved you're the best in the PFL, now go over to the big leagues in the UFC. That's people's perception, right?
Fair enough.
What do you think of that?
That's a fair assumption. I mean, PFL is number 2 in my eyes. So number 1 is Alexander Volkanovski in my weight. I know Alex, we've trained together. Great fella, we share the same wrestling coach. Lovely guy, I would love to fight him one day, and that's not even like a disrespect to him, but I believe I'm one of the best 145ers on planet Earth. And I genuinely mean that, and I know I can hang with them guys, I really do.
Would you be receptive to the UFC if they were to reach out and say, let's let bygones be bygones, and we want to bring you over here and chuck you in the deep end with our guys? Because what a division they've got.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's fantastic.
Who wouldn't want to see me and Kelvin Cater, or me and Pantera, or me and Alexander Volkanovski? There's some amazing fights out there for me. And I think we've seen with Bubba Jenkins and Chris Wade and the rest of the guys this year, they're not on my level. I need somebody that is on my level to push me, so whoever that guy is, whatever organisation that is, let's do it.
Do you have a conversation with the PFL where you say, go out there and get me someone, whether they're current UFC, former UFC, whatever it may be, I want them over here, I want to stick with you guys because you've been so good to me?
Well, they've just signed Shane Burgos. I mean, Shane Burgos is a good start, right?
Very good.
Who doesn't want to see Brendan Loughnane and Shane
Fun
Burgos?
fight.
So let's start
Fun
with him.
fight, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that is what the PFL want to move towards. They've got the tournament, but they're also capable of making big fights where they can bring people in from different areas. I mean, that could be really exciting, right? That could be really exciting. And I'm just trying to, when people say, oh, go over to the UFC, it's like, well, it's not quite as simple as that, is it? And you've got a great thing going with these guys.
Yeah.
And if they can work for you to bring in really top competition, really big fights, you get to hang on to this thing. I mean...
Well, if you think about it, like, PFL picked me up when the UFC dropped the ball, and they've been amazing. So they changed my life financially. They've been great. They're getting me here to do media like this. They've been amazing for me. So for me to just drop them and go, yeah, I'm going UFC now. I mean, I'm not that type of guy. But I do want big fights. I'm 33 now, just turned 33 last week. It's time to start really pushing and looking for the best fights out there. So whether that's PFL bringing them over or whatever it may be, then that's what I'm here for.